guys, Jeff here, and today I'm going to show you how to winterize your van. Now, I get a lot of questions from this time of year. People are wondering, how the heck do I winterize my van? How hard is it? And how much time is it going to take? I'm going to show you a really simple way to do it in about 10 minutes. So I did a video last fall showing how to winterize it, and it was a little more complex. It involved hooking up an air compressor to the outdoor sprinkler and blowing out the lines. But the problem with that is you're still not going to get all of the water out. There's a couple of places that even if you blow your lines out, you're not going to get the water out. One is in your hot water tank. If you have a Bosch hot water tank, there's no drain on that. And so even if you blow everything out, there's going to be some water left in the bottom of that hot water tank. And then also in your valves, your mixing valves for your shower, and if you have an indoor shower, your sink faucet, there are little places that hold water and you can't blow it out. And I found out the hard way that even though you blow out your lines, like in my faucet, there's a little pocket in the mixer where water stays, and that froze and it just snapped my faucet in half last year. So you need to make sure that you winterize it more than just blowing out the lines. Now, the method I'm going to show you today, you don't even have to blow out the lines. All we're going to do is add some of this pink RV antifreeze. That's food grade, or antifreeze that you can use in your plumbing. So you're going to need a few gallons of this. They're pretty cheap. Lisa, how much were they?
I don't even remember.
Like $3 or $4 a gallon. We'll see how much we're going to need. I have 4 gallons here. Probably won't need all of that, but we'll see. Probably a couple gallons, maybe 3. You're going to want a funnel. You're going to want a rag. And then I always make up one of these hoses, and I'll show you how I use it. First thing is to drain your tank. So I have a drain underneath. What I've done is I parked the van on an incline so the front is higher than the back, so that all my water can drain out. And then I'll show you right underneath I have a drain. So here's my drain, and your van is going to be different, but you're going to hit the drain, and I'm just going to open up the valve, and we're going to drain all the water out. So what you want to do next is you just want to get all the water that's in the lines out of the faucet. So I've got my water pump turned on. I'm going to run the cold until only air comes out. And most water pumps these days, if they start to get hot, if there's no water going through them, they'll shut off. So you don't have to worry about burning out your pump if you have a newer pump. But I'm just going to run this until air comes out. Okay, so you can start seeing it's spitting air. Let it go for just a sec. Okay, now I'm going to run my hot. So there's my hot. That's my cold. Now I'm going to end with the hot. So I just run it back and forth to make sure that all the water's out. And this little right in here is where I was saying is going to retain water. You're not going to be able to get it all out of here. So if you don't do this, even if you drain your tank, this guy right here is going to freeze, and there's a really good chance your faucet will crack. So there, I've got all the water, and it's just kind of spurting air now. Now there's a little more. So now I'm going to hook up my outdoor shower. I'm going to do the same thing. With the cold and hot, just run this until nothing more comes out. Okay, so that's pretty good. So I've got there's still a little water, but mostly air. So now on to the next step. I'm going to shut my water pump off. Okay, now the next thing, after you've opened up all your faucets, I've done my kitchen sink, my outdoor shower. If you have an indoor shower or any other water fixtures, you're going to want to run those until it just kind of spurts air and water. The next thing is, if you have a water filter, you want to disconnect that. And the reason is, if you run the antifreeze through your filter, it's going to contaminate the filter and ruin it. So I always take my filter out. I'm going to disconnect it. Okay, so there's my filter. I'm just going to take that off, keep it in my garage until I'm ready to run it again. Okay, so now that we've done that, the next thing is to actually pump the antifreeze into the system. Now, this is not regular automotive antifreeze. This is RV plumbing system antifreeze, so don't worry, it's safe. So we always build our vans so there's easy access to the water pump. So I've got a hatch right here. You want to come around here, Lisa? This is my water pump right here. So it pumps, my water tank's up here, it pumps through this hose, through the filter, through the pump, through my accumulator into my system. So I want to disconnect this side, the side that is in. There's usually an arrow. Also, it would be the side where your strainer or filter are. And I'm just going to disconnect that. And these are just finger tightened. Okay, so there's that. So now I've got the hose that goes from my tank to my water pump disconnected. And now I'm going to take this guy that I've made. So this is just the same fitting, just a 1/2 inch fitting, and I've taken 1/2 inch tubing, and I'm just going to screw this on where I disconnected the one that goes to my tank. Okay, and that's just finger tight. So I've got that going into my strainer. Then I'm just going to take the other end of this. Let me take this guy off. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to insert this tube into the antifreeze, and I'm going to turn on my water pump, and it's going to pump this liquid out and into my system. So I'm going to turn on my water pump, and then I'm going to run my fixtures one at a time. And I like to do the cold first and then the hot, because the cold is going to be pretty quick. It's just going to go from here through the system into the fixtures, the faucet and this. But on the hot side, it's going to have to go through the hot water tank, and it's going to have to get enough liquid in there before it starts to come out pink on the other end. So let's go ahead and turn on the water pump, and then we'll run the faucets. Okay, so now I've got it hooked up into the little jug, and I'm going to turn on my water pump, and that's going to start pumping it out of the jug. And then I'm going to run this until pink comes out. You see, there we go. It's pink. Now I'm going to go the other way on the hot side, and I'm going to run it until pink comes out. And this way it's going to take a little longer because it's going through the water pump. It's mixing with the water that's already in there, and so it's going to take longer. So I've run it down to about here. So I'm actually going to move this to a new one. And the rag is to wipe off anything that spills. Okay, so now I'm going to go and I'm going to run it some more. So I'm going to keep running the hot. So I'm just going to transfer the rest of this one. That's why I have the funnel, is just to transfer the rest in. Put this guy back in, and we'll keep going. Okay, so you can see it's starting to turn pink, but it's mixing with the water that was in the hot water tank. So I want to keep running it a little bit.
Maybe it ran into like
There
an
we
air
go.
bubble.
There we go. There's the cold, and there's the cold, there's the hot, and the hot is mixing with some of the water that was left in the hot water tank, but that's good right there. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and do the shower. Okay, so I'm going to do the cold side first. There it goes. You see that pink coming out?
Yeah.
So I'm going to close that. I'm going to do the hot. So it's hard to tell there, but that's pink now. So now I'm going to turn off that. I'm going to go back to the cold. And I just go back and forth a few times until it runs nice and pink. You can see that pink running off my hands. We go one more time with the hot, and that's it. Okay, so I used about 3 gallons of the liquid. I've got this much left from the third one. So that's all it is, really, is you just run it through until you have the pink liquid coming out of each fixture on both the hot and the cold side. And once you're done, you can disconnect this, rehook up your the line from your tank to your water pump, and then when you're ready to use your van again, all you're going to need to do is fill up your water, and then you're going to run water through each fixture, hot and cold, until it comes out clear. And that's going to flush this out, and then you just hook your water filter back up and you're good to go. Hopefully this helped you. If you have any questions, drop in the comment section, and we'll see you in the next video.